Late Night Health continues with our regular contributor, Dr. Paul Corona. He is the author of Healing the Mind and Body. And we've been talking about the mind, and then we've been talking about the body, and we've been talking about the mind and the body. Let's talk about them together, Dr. Paul. Nice to have you back on the show. We spent part of the weekend together this last weekend, actually, shooting some videos together. Achieving optimal mental and physical health by unlocking secret truths about your own mind-body connection. So does everybody have some kind of secret going on?
Well, the secret is, the basis of my books and my practice is this whole issue of the mind-body connection. Because if you think about when people say the mind, they mean the brain, and the brain is in the central nervous system, connects everywhere throughout the body. So it's hard to separate. People ask me, is it a mental problem or is it a physical problem? And my answer is often yes. It's probably both, and because you can't, it's very difficult to separate both of those.
But at the same time, the brain, we know, is running the body. It tells the heart to go pump, pump. It tells the lungs to go, it tells, and that's from a non-smoker. And, it tells the knee to bend. There's a lot of automatic responses that the brain is in charge of.
Right.
But the mind part of the brain, do you work with the mind part of the brain? And what I mean by the mind part of the brain would be talking, feeling good, having a great day, things of that nature.
Right. And in the mind, I think of it as the computer of the body. Like you said, it runs everything. It's in charge of the whole body. And all the physical things, but also the emotions, our feelings, our happiness, our joy and pleasure, all that is connected. It's all the same brain and the same body. And but so when we say mental, we mean emotion, the emotional part of the brain, and also the physical part of the brain.
So let's talk about those secrets. Do I and everybody else, Daryl, Kevin, do we have secrets that we may not even know ourselves?
Well, the secret part of the brain is parts that we can't control. The brain is we think of it as a solid organ. It is solid, but within the brain and between the cells, it's an electrical and a chemical organ. So the brain functions by chemicals passing from nerve cell to nerve cell. There's over 100 billion nerve cells in our body, and there's over 100 trillion connections between the cells in our body. So there's a constant weaving network of cells communicating by chemicals.
Would you say then that when we don't feel well, when maybe we overeat, okay, and our brain says, you don't feel so well. You ate a whole apple pie. I mean, would that be something that would be common?
Yeah, well, we call that emotional eating or stress eating, or it's just a dang good pie, and it's in you. But eating is often tied into emotion. Either when we're depressed and sad, or anxious. Some people tend to overeat to excess, and some people tend to undereat. Some people eat less when they're emotional, and some people eat more.
I have become a stress eater. When I am stressed, I eat more. I didn't used to be that way. Is it split 50-50? I mean, some people are stress eaters, and some people just don't want to eat when they're stressed?
I'd say probably, in my experience, it's more likely people eat more when under stress than less. And especially we call comfort foods, which is really sugars and starches. So bread, pasta, potatoes, sweets, all the good stuff.
Right.
Those are the foods that we tend to go towards when we like. For example, women like to eat chocolate around their menstrual cycle sometimes, and there's definitely a connection between emotion and our food intake.
I guess that secret, one of the secrets we want to unlock then would be to become an unstress eater, because that can't be good physically or emotionally. I'm having a bad day at work. I'm going to eat more pasta. I'm going to have 6 tortillas, all that starchy stuff. Right.
And then better yet would be if someone gets home, they've had a stressful day, go take a walk first. Go get some exercise, go to the gym, go take a walk, whatever, and then eat. And if someone does that, they're going to notice that they burn off some of the stress with the exercise, and then they eat less.
I was with a friend yesterday, and he was visiting, and he wanted to go for a walk. And I live near the Santa Monica Mountains. And I invite Daryl and Kevin to come for a walk with me. I walked in about 45 minutes. We did maybe 50 minutes, 4 miles. I thought I was going to die.
It's moving pretty good.
Yeah, it was. And it's, you've been in there. It's up and down.
Yeah,
it's up and down. Then I was talking to another friend today. She did the same walk on Sunday and found a very large mountain lion blocking their way. That's where you turn around. I would have screamed. I just would have had
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. I love that. Our guest.
Yeah, but you're depriving that poor cat of the comfort foods of the cat.
Yeah, right. Marco Sala or something like that, right? Our guest is Dr. Paul Corona. We're talking about the mind-body connection with his books, Healing the Mind and Body. Those chemical reactions, we mentioned the pie, the apple pie. I've been looking for a good crumb top apple pie. But I know better. I'm not going to eat the whole pie. I know that I'm going to eat a slice, maybe a large slice, but I'm going to eat a piece of pie. A piece of pie. Some people eat the whole thing. Are there differences in the brain chemistry between somebody who will eat just a slice of pie versus somebody who's going to overeat and eat the entire pie?
Yeah, but it's a chemistry thing, but it depends on which chemicals are imbalanced and which person. So, like I said, some people are going to respond by overeating, some people undereating, and it is chemical, but it is also behavior patterns, choices. Has the person developed other coping skills to deal with emotion other than eating? So it really depends on the person.
Gotcha. And so there's nothing that would be normal, balanced, if you will, for me and Daryl. Okay, our normal would be different.
Right. Exactly.
And he doesn't like apple pie, so. He prefers peach.
I don't mind it, but I would still eat a whole one.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Even though it might not taste that good, I'd still eat a whole one.
All right. And that's it.
I don't like this ice cream. I only ate half a gallon.
Oh my! Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I have an addictive personality. No question about it.
Okay.
Physical, mental, addictive personality.
So we have to get you addicted to physical exercise.
And that's okay. So I'll stick with the non-tasty apple pie.
Got it. And stay away from the mountain lions. The other thing that I saw on that walk, Dr. Paul, were signs for beware of rattlesnakes, right? And so that would certainly, if I saw a rattlesnake, I would certainly expect, first of all, fight or flight, right? And I would flight. You'd also hear me scream like a 14-year-old girl.
Yep.
But does that immediately change brain chemistry?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. When you're faced with an acute stress like a mountain lion or a rattlesnake, your body instantly reacts, and the adrenaline starts surging up in the system, and that's all chemical within the nervous system, and that helps to protect you from harm.
And then you go home and eat the whole apple pie.
Exactly.
to relax. But you talk about secrets, unlocking the secret truths within each of us. Now, Daryl,
pointing at me.
I'm pointing at you. Daryl is obviously a self-evolved individual. He knows that he's going to eat that whole pie.
I know it's not right, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Do we all have that? Can we all? How do we unlock that secret?
Yeah, and the secret's really, like I said, people don't think of the brain, and we don't think of it in chemical terms. The secret really is that the brain is and the body is a chemical organ, and that the chemicals that imbalance in the system is what leads to a lot of the problems that I see in my practice. And then the secret of that is that most people are not aware of that. Most people think it just has to do with situational stressors and the individual, and they don't really realize that the brain is a chemical, an electrical organ.
But can you intellectualize, Dr. Paul, and say, for example, with Mr. Wayne, Mr. Insane here,
yeah.
If you can he say, I know I shouldn't eat it. He just said he knows he shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, of course.
But so he'll eat one piece, he'll put the pie away, and in 20 minutes he'll go back and say, one other piece.
If there were a 12-step program for pie, I may be able to get past it.
Got it.
I mean, that's the way I stopped drinking, so,
How'd you stop smoking?
It was. I'll try to make it 20 seconds or less.
All right.
There was a thing on KABC television, send away for this brochure to stop smoking. And I did, and this was 1986, and the first day it said, don't smoke any more, any less, just write down whenever you have a cigarette. The next day it said, write down how you feel when you want a cigarette. The third day it said, write down some substitutions you might eat a carrot stick, eat a whole pie, whatever the case may be. And on the seventh day, you turned to it said all the reasons to continue smoking and stop smoking. And on the seventh day, it said, don't smoke. And I haven't had a cigarette since. Wow. I have no idea why it worked. It was some sort of programmed approach, and for some reason it resonated, and I haven't had a cigarette since.
And Dr. Paul is agreeing with that.
Yeah, and you mentioned smoking. That's another one. Eating, smoking, drinking. There's several. That's just three things that can become addictive if someone crosses the line and does it, to relieve stress. But there's a lot of things that unhealthy patterns that can happen due to deal with stress.
Our guest is the author of Healing the Mind and Body, Dr. Paul Corona. We're talking about unlocking the secret truths that each of us have, and you can find out more about that in his book. It's a trilogy, Healing the Mind and Body, and it's not only for patients, it's not only for consumers, but also for doctors. And you can find out more at latenighthealth.com, or go to Dr. Paul D. Corona, MD. No, okay, go ahead, Paul.
drpaulcoronamd.com.
I always get that wrong. drpaulcoronamd.com. drpaulcoronamd.com. All right, Dr. Paul and I return as Late Night Health continues. Visit us at latenighthealth.com.